Hi there, my name is Nabil Sharif. I am one of your fellow classmates. Today I will be summarizing Chapter 1, which deals with motivation, preparation, and conditions for the entering teacher. The three key points I'll be summarizing today will be choosing a career in teaching, supply demand of teachers, and job satisfaction and dissatisfaction. Choosing a career in teaching. So like all careers, we have motivations, challenges, and diversity concerns. There are four main motivational factors that drive teachers to do what they do: their love of children, desire to impart knowledge, interest in and excitement about teaching, and the desire to perform a valuable service to society. And there are also challenges that demotivate them. And some of them are that maybe they're unfamiliar with teaching disadvantaged children that live in difficult circumstances. For example, I'm from India, and in India we have many slums and children that live in them. And so, if I were to teach in those conditions, if I were to teach students living in those circumstances, maybe I'm unfamiliar with their challenges, and so that is a challenge I face as a teacher. And in turn, my students will be facing a challenge as well because now they have a teacher who might not completely understand them. They won't, they'll feel very distant. Another challenge is special education populations. And for example, in Oregon State University, specifically the International Living Learning Center, uh, we have many international students that do not speak or know English. CAPS is a program that educates those students in English first before they move on to their degrees. There are also other special requirements that maybe we're not unfamiliar with, or maybe entering teachers will not be unfamiliar with, that pose a challenge. And to ensure that all students are educated, there's the No Child Left Behind Act. And the reason this is a challenge is because now teachers are required to teach all the students, and sometimes they have to teach these students certain things that they're not required to teach. Like if I'm a math teacher dealing with a non-English speaking student or a student who does not know English, I'm required to solve this problem. And so the No Child Left Behind Act is a boon, but also sometimes a challenge. And there are things that work around solving all these problems. And finally, we have diversity concerns. And especially today, everybody's pro-diverse, or most of us are. Um, and students, the student population, the student in classrooms is becoming more diverse, and there's a diversity component in many classes. But pertaining to teachers, it's there's still a problem because teachers, the teacher population is not that diverse. And so then we're trying to solve that problem of making the teacher population more diverse, hiring teachers from various different countries, speaking different languages. So that's another problem that needs to be solved. Moving on, we have the supply and the demand of teachers. Mainly, I'll be speaking about job opportunities. And there are many factors that affect job opportunities for entering teachers, but some of them are the baby boom children have resulted in their own little mini baby boom by reproducing. And there are many immigrant families that are entering the United States. And so we have all these kids. Thus, school enrollment has increased. And when you have so many kids, you need teachers to teach them. Then there are also another thing is much of the current teaching force will retire in the coming years. And then this again causes a dearth of teachers. Educational reforms are putting emphasis on much needed changes to class size, science and mathematics, and preschool education expansions. And so the student to teacher ratio will decrease because classrooms will get smaller. And if they get bigger, again, the teacher will have to handle that. And then we have the science and mathematics component, so this increases the quality of teachers. And so thus we have the higher teaching standards. They limit the supply of the teachers because not everybody wants to hire a Tom, Dick, and Harry. The teacher needs to know what they're teaching. And we have the establishment of new charter schools. And many employed teachers are leaving the classroom and or the profession at a substantial rate. And again, this causes a dearth of teachers. There's a gap that needs to be filled because of this factor. So the opportunities in non-public schools also entice many teachers. They're very alluring, and all these factors they cause this lack of teachers, this gap that needs to be filled. And so it's not like the teaching market is saturated. No, there's actually a need for teachers. So let's talk about job satisfaction and dissatisfaction. Are the teachers really satisfied? As it turns out, teaching is a satisfying career. You are building the future of our world. You're teaching them. And so the job conditions are changing. And some of these conditions, they're likely to improve the satisfaction. And there's an emphasis on teacher satisfaction. And so, they want to employers want to make sure that their teachers are satisfied. But there is also dissatisfaction with teachers. There are reasons for dissatisfaction. Some of them are the insufficient time for counseling, planning lessons, etc. So teachers are facing a problem with having this lack of time. And then there's also the ambiguity in supervisors' expectations, the unresponsive administrators, the decrepit facilities, as we saw in our video on first week, the inadequate salaries, and the lack of supplies and equipment, again, as we saw in our first week video. State and district standards, they're putting stress on the teachers. So the tests are becoming more uniform and standardized. And this puts pressure on the teachers because now they have to improve test scores. Every year, students need to do better and better. And that puts a lot of pressure on the teachers. The courses and workshops are offered to emphasize stress reduction techniques. This is one solution. Another solution is that counselors they recommend exercise, rest, hobbies, good nutrition, meditation, other relaxation techniques, vacations, and personal time to combat stress. In conclusion, I talked about motivation, the preparation, the challenges that many teachers deal with, the conditions that the teachers also have to deal with when entering the career. And then what does this mean for the future, for our future? That's one question I want to leave you with. We're trying to make sure the teachers are satisfied, they're better educated, they know what they're teaching. And so what does that mean for our future? Because all of that, these are gifts, but they're also curses because now we have a lack of teachers, the gap that needs to be filled. The next generation, they're our future, and they're depending on us to teach them about the past, the present, and the skills they need to build our future. If we don't teach them how to create their wings, they will never learn to fly. And so this is one thing that all of us as aspiring teachers need to understand. It's not just a job. It's not just you go in one day, you impart knowledge to a bunch of kids, and you get paid at the end. No, it's we are building. We're imparting knowledge to not just a bunch of kids, but they are our future leaders. It could be anyone. We need to understand that they are our future, and we are the key. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to view my presentation. There's a lot of text. I do recommend you read the chapter for yourself. It's very interesting. And if you are aspiring to be a teacher, I highly recommend you read this first. And yeah, thank you and have a good day.